everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to sit down and talk to you about some products that I think are really great products that didn't quite make the cut in my Best in Beauty simply because I hadn't had them for very long, a couple of weeks to a month, maybe just a little over a month, and I felt like those Best in Beauty videos should be solely dedicated to the products that I had been using consistently day after day for weeks, months at a time. Some of those products through the entire 2023 year just really made a huge difference in my routine. So I really wanted to keep those products to the ones that I've used the most, where I can give you a very thorough review of the formula and the product. These are products that joined my collection towards the end of 2023 that I feel like had I had them sooner, earlier in the year, they would have most definitely made the cut. So these are kind of like some MVPs of 2023. Maybe that's what I'll title this video because that sounds like it kind of goes together. But I've got just a handful of products that I feel like really made a huge difference. I have some of them on today so I can kind of talk you through what I am wearing and kind of give you some more tidbits about the products and basically showing you the products that I wish I had just tried sooner. First up is going to be the Haus Labs blushes. I only have one and I wish that I would have A, purchased more colors, B, tried them sooner. This was a kind of late addition to my collection last year and I really feel like I should have purchased these when they first came out in 2023. The formula is incredible. I only have one in the shade called Pomelo Peach. I chose one that I felt like I could make the most use out of. Also a shade that I feel like I don't have a lot of in my collection. I don't have a ton of traditional true peach colors. And this is exactly that. It is a matte formula, but the formula of this reminds me a lot of the formula of the bronzer, which the bronzer made the Best in Beauty for the bronzer category this past year for me, because the formula is smooth, it's creamy, it's velvety, it is matte, but the way it sits on the skin, it blends in beautifully and it blurs. The same happens with this blush. It actually looks incredibly beautiful, and even though it's a peachy kind of warm tone color, I feel like I can pull this off with like a look today. I added just a tidbit of warmth into my crease with a palette that I'm going to show you here in a minute because I really wanted to use as many colors as I could, but I personally don't think, you let me know in the comments, the peach tone with the sort of kind of warm colors, I feel like I can pull it off. This color on my lid is a bit cooler. I just feel like I can use this with cool tones and warm tones. The formula goes on like butter, and I just wish that I would have bought more at the time of ordering this. I wish I would have gotten them at the start of when they first came out because I feel like I've missed out so much and I'm just trying to use this. This was actually in my little makeup bag that I have with selected products to do my makeup upstairs, which is where I've done my makeup for the last couple of days, and this was in my bag. So definitely a gem. If you have not tried the Haus Labs blushes, check them out. Also, a little side note, the bronzers are incredible. I wear shade light level 2 for reference. I will list it and link it for you down below. It's incredible, and I feel like some of their face products have really become, or quickly become, some of my go-to favorites. Up next are a couple products from the Gxve Beauty line. I have talked about the actual bronzer cream contour and powder bronzer duo. It made the cut for Best in Beauty in the bronzer category. I ordered a second shade, which was a little bit deeper. When I recently placed an order, I bought these, I want to say at the beginning of November. I bought the highlighter, the Check My Glow highlighter in Platinum Cowgirl, which is what I'm wearing today. And I also picked up a duo of the blush. So let's start with the Check My Glow highlighter. This is incredibly beautiful. This in the Platinum Cowgirl is so pretty. I remember using this in a video several weeks ago, kind of using new things, and this was one of those products that I used, and I have not been able to put this down. I have been using a lot of my favorites that I shared in my Best in Beauty for the complexion category products, but this truly, if I would have had this maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, this would have most definitely been one of my very top picks. I love the colors. It's kind of like a sort of mosaic look to it. There's some pink, there's some golden colors, there's some peach. You swirl this together and it just looks so beautiful. Today I did do a little bit more than usual. just because I was in the mood and I was feeling a little sassy, and I thought, why the heck not, right? So this definitely could take me there and be a little bit more intense, but I can also pull back on the amount that I apply, and it still looks fresh, it still looks youthful, and it kind of just melts into the skin. And that's one of the things that I look for in a highlighter. It's a highlighter that actually looks like it's part of my skin. The glow and radiance is from just the healthiness of skin, not a product that sits there and accentuates texture, not a stripe of product across the tops of my cheekbone. This is incredible, the formulation. Same goes for the blush. I only picked up one. This is the shade called Ex-Girlfriend. These came out a couple months back, and it's a duo. I chose the pink one because I love pink blush. I think that's the shade that I probably gravitate the most towards, and I just feel like I can't have enough. And I've used this quite a bit, and I was so impressed with how there is pigment, but it doesn't look harsh. This looks bright, it's bold, and I look at it and I'm like, I may need to go a little light-handed, and I do, but there is just a kind of beautiful flush from within that comes from this specific shade. I like how there's one that has a bit of a satiny finish, and then there's one that's more matte, a little bit more magenta, a little bit more of a traditional bright pink. You can use them together individually. It just looks beautiful. I like to use this lighter one that has a bit of a sheen, almost kind of like a topper to go over the magenta, or a topper to something else. And it just looks beautiful, and it doesn't take a lot to show up. The formula is also easy to work with, and it wears well, incredibly well throughout the day. And I don't have issues with it fading. It doesn't skip. It doesn't like cling on to patches of dryness, or it doesn't look weird. It just blends just so seamlessly, and I absolutely love this formula. And I've used this quite a bit, and it doesn't look like I've used much because you don't really need a lot. A little goes a long way. And the packaging, let's just give a shout out. How cute and adorable is the packaging of these compacts, right? The next highlighter is from RMS Beauty. This is the Prosecco Fizz. This is actually really, really pretty. I absolutely love the way the product is. It looks very dimensional, kind of like a diamond kind of vibe to it. The glow on this is beautiful. It's a nice, pretty kind of goldeny vibe. I feel like this is just enough gold where I don't feel like it's too much for my fair skin. Any deeper than this, and I think it just doesn't sit well against my fair skin, because I don't personally, like I said before, I want my highlighter to melt into the skin. So I don't like where I can visually see the color, the undertone. I like it to just kind of mesh with everything else that I'm wearing, and this is that. I have one of the blushes that I bought when they came out. I think that was 2022, possibly, that the blushes came out, and I have only one shade, and it's the rosé shade, and it's beautiful. The glow, it made the cut for the Best in Beauty for that year, and this highlighter is so pretty, and it's a tone that I feel like every skin tone could use, and that's a great thing, where it's just easy across the board for fair skin, for light skin, medium, tan, deeper skin tones would look beautiful with this. This is just nice, and this would be really pretty for the summertime. I know we are in the winter months and it's pretty cold and brutal out, but there's just something very beautiful and ethereal about this. It can definitely be blinding though. If you put a lot on, I'm gonna warn you, it will be intense, but you can also scale that back. And the texture of this is kind of like a gelée formula, where it's not too powdery. There's not a lot of kick up. Honestly, you put your brush in there, very minimal kick up that you see surrounding the product. You blend it in, and it just kind of melts into the skin. And I personally don't have issues with it accentuating too much texture. Up next is a product that it is seemingly beloved by many people in the beauty community, and it's the brow gel from Rare Beauty. This was out of stock for the longest time. I got mine in November when it finally came back in stock at Sephora. I had been on wait list for a very long time. And after the first few uses, the first time it was kind of like, okay, this is good. But the more I use it, the more I could see why people loved it. It actually does give you a really great hold. It really combs the brow hairs, kind of sets them in place. I have very unruly brows. They're long. I have spots where there was no hair. They kind of move around. They don't stay. So I need something with a lot of hold. Like an extreme hold, okay? And this actually gives me a really good hold without being stiff, because I have it on and I don't really feel like I have much through my brows, which is great. It doesn't get flaky, it doesn't turn white. I think this is a great product to give you the hold if you want a strong hold without it being crunchy, flaky, or kind of weird. It's not like taking hairspray into your brows, which I've done that before. Don't tell anybody. But this has a really small little applicator, kind of like a spoolie that you kind of comb through. Just very standard for this type of product to have a spoolie, but I do feel like when I take this out of the packaging, there is a little bit of goop on the end, but I do rake that through and use that. I don't kind of swipe it. Sometimes I do, but I generally use whatever's on here. And I do believe that what comes out on this applicator is enough to do sometimes both of my brows. But if I'm being a little bit more meticulous and careful, I will use what I've taken out to do one brow, go back in and do it again on the second brow. And it's just easy, and I don't have to go over it very much. It keeps everything in place. Up next is a lip liner. This is from Lawless. It's the Forget the Filler Definer Liner. It's a long name and I had to just kind of think. This is a shade called Pink Sand and I absolutely adore it. This is what I'm wearing today. I lined and filled and then I layered a lipstick and gloss over it. I will link everything down for you below for the full lip combo. But this lip liner is my lips but better. It's the perfect shade. It is kind of giving me those Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk vibes, which if you watch my Best in Beauty products for lips, if you haven't, the cards here will take you to that video. That is one of my all-time favorites and it has been for years, year after year since I discovered that. That has been my go-to lip liner because it's my lips but better. It is my ride or die, and this is giving me a very similar color to that. There's not a whole ton of difference. They're not astronomically different. The difference, I think, in formula is that this from Lawless is creamier, where you could use this and you feel that creaminess on the lips if you line and fill, whereas the Lip Cheat from Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit more on the drier side. Again, not a bad thing. I absolutely adore it, but this one is just incredible. And again, I go back to that statement that I made earlier. I wish I would have tried these sooner. I wish I would have purchased more. I wish I would have bought a lipstick to match this from her website because the color is just spot on. It's me to a T and it is absolute perfection. So my last two products are eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to start off with the first one that is more everyday, the one that I'm wearing today. It's the Dreamy Dozen, also from Lawless. I recently tried to expand my collection of Lawless products and I have fallen in love with the lip liner and this eyeshadow palette. That's all I have on my eyes today. I try to use as many of these shades as possible to do a very simple, quick, easy look. There's some sparkle on the lid. There's a couple matte shades in the crease, a couple deeper shades in the lower lash line, liner, and mascara. It couldn't be easier. And I think what makes this so special for me personally is the ease of use. The fact that these shades here, and I will show you, these shades here are just absolutely perfect everyday shades. And you may look at this and may think, yes, that's me. Or you may see this and think it's boring. There's nothing boring about it. I feel like I can't have enough of these shades. I feel like this offers such a wide range of variety, from just simple basic looks to smoky looks to cooler looks to warmer looks, some with some shimmer, and then this bottom one here, which is what I'm wearing all over the lid. That one is called Smoked Taupe. That one has a little bit more of a sparkle kind of finish, very reflective and metallic. Gives you that kind of sparkly eye that if you want to be sassy for the day, going somewhere special event. I mean, the possibilities are endless with the amount of looks that you can do with this. And I just love the fact that it's housed in a very simple, easy component. It's not fussy. It's a cardboard product, easy to travel with, easy to store in a makeup collection or makeup bag. The colors are perfection. The formula is creamy. It blends itself. There's no learning curve with this. If you are a beginner in makeup and you want a good palette for every day, this is where it's at. This is truly one of my very favorite discoveries towards the end of last year. And had I had this sooner, had I experimented and used it more, it would have made the cut because it just is something that I've reached for a lot. And it lives in my little makeup bag that I have all of my go-to products. This has been one of those palettes that I kind of thrown into the mix when I want to change things up and kind of get away from the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude, because that was the palette of the year, in my opinion. And I want to give that a break because I use it so often. This is what I've been reaching for. And it's just beautiful. And I found the value of this not that long ago when I was doing my makeup and my kids were playing. My youngest was ready for a nap and he was kind of fussy, but I was already midway through my eyeshadow. I was like, give me just another minute and I'm just going to slap these on. I used one brush, one crease brush, and I did my entire eye look with it. And then I threw on some mascara and I literally was done with my eyeshadow look in just a matter of 2-3 minutes. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. So if you want something that can give you many looks, many variety of cool tones, warm tones, and streamlines your process of getting ready in the morning, this is it. And it's also a talc-free option too. So if that matters to you, check these out. You can get it at Sephora. You can also order from the Lawless website. If you try this, you will not be disappointed. Up next is my Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. This is completely opposite of the Dreamy Dozen. This is intense, it's smoky, it's deep, it's rich, it's sultry. It gives those kind of night out kind of vibes. I love a good smoky eye, and this gives me just that. But what makes this so interesting is the fact that not only do you get a variety of colors, variety of textures, variety of finishes, you get a variety of tones. So you have some coolness, and then you have some really deep, rich, dark, smoky colors. I can definitely do an everyday look on this side of the palette, get kind of a little sassy and go smoky and deep with this, some kind of muted purple shades. These tones are just absolutely incredible. Huda Beauty formula is really great. I have loved my Rose Quartz palette, and I have a few of her smaller palettes that I like, but this one is just perfection. I like the mix of everyday coolness, a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of warmth. I mean, it's giving you everything, right? So I really don't see the need to purchase anything that's really dark and deep and smoky for my collection, because I have it all right here. I did a look with this when I first bought it, a first impressions, and if you watch that video or if you've already seen it, you saw my reaction. I was just completely blown away by these shades. They are absolutely incredible. And then you have a cream at the bottom. This one is called Grunge, and I use that primarily as an eyeliner. So I take an angled brush and I use that. Sometimes I find myself taking this palette out just for this. You can use it as eyeliner. You can use it as a base for some of these other colors, and when you do that, you will intensify the color and the finish of these sort of metallic-y, creamy, very intense foiled shadows. Like, they're just beautiful. And you can't really see on this shade here. This one is called Strong AF, but when you first get it, it has that beautiful swirled effect, which I think is so different and fun. This one here, called Haphazard, I used that in that video for the first time because it was kind of like a black with white specks, and it had that speckled kind of look, which is very cool and fun to look at. But when you swirl it, it has a purple undertone and kind of shift to it. So there's a lot of interesting and very unique tones in this. So if you're looking for a smoky palette that can give you a little bit of everything, this is it. I would definitely pick this up if you're in the market for a new palette, or for whenever Sephora does a sale, pick it up. When Huda does a sale on her website, snag it, because you will not be disappointed. If you like smoky eyes, this is for you. And there you have it. Those are my MVPs for 2023. That just kind of rhymes. I think that's what I'm going to title the video. These are the products that, had I had them sooner, had I played with them a lot more before filming those videos, they would have absolutely been included in those videos for Best in Beauty for 2023. I'm going to list everything down below for you. I highly encourage you to check these out. These are actually incredible products, incredible formulas, and I just absolutely adore them. And that's one of the things that I love about filming, is sharing with you guys so many great things. And I try a lot of product. Like, if you could see my desk right now, it's kind of embarrassing, okay? I have a lot of cleanup to do, but I love trying makeup, testing products out, doing my makeup, and when I find products that are just absolute gems, I get giddy and excited to turn the camera on and share it with you, because I feel like I need to share this with you and not kind of keep the secret to myself, right? So I hope that if you try these out, that they work for you just as well as they work for me. If you've tried them, give me your feedback. I would love to hear from you. And of course, as always, share recommendations. If you want me to try a product or feature some products out, let me know in the comment section. And I appreciate you so much for being here, for watching, taking the time from your busy schedule to be here with me today. Means incredibly more than what I could put into words. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for future videos. I've got a lot of great content coming up. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's always going to pop up here on the screen. I hope to connect with you there and we can be friends. I hope you're doing well. Take care, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.